Welcome back to the place where we keep it real and dive into the stories that have everyone talking. Today we're discussing something that's been blowing up my notifications like crazy, and I know you've been waiting for this one. Hit that subscribe button right now because this family keeps growing and I want to make sure you never miss out on what's happening. Justin Bieber was recently spotted on a live stream, and what happened next has the entire internet divided into camps. He was sitting there during a broadcast, and people noticed something very specific about his behavior that sent social media into an absolute frenzy. Next to him was Hailey Bieber, and the moment that's causing all this chaos involves a particular tattoo that Justin has on his body. For those who don't know the backstory here, Justin has a tattoo that's connected to Selena Gomez from when they were together years ago. He actually spoke about this tattoo publicly before, explaining that it's an image of his former partner that he attempted to cover up with some shading, but people still recognize what it represents. The footage that's circulating shows Justin appearing to look down at his arm where this specific tattoo is located. The clip has been shared thousands of times, with people claiming he was staring longingly at this reminder of his past relationship while his current wife sat right beside him. Comment sections everywhere exploded with theories about what this means and whether Justin still harbors feelings for Selena. Some viewers are convinced this proves he's thinking about what could have been, imagining an alternate reality where he and Selena walked down the aisle together instead. They're spinning entire narratives about regret and lost love based on these few seconds of footage. Let me break down what actually happened in this video before we go any further. The stream was live and Justin was engaged in whatever activity they were doing at the time. At one point, his gaze shifted downward toward his arm and stayed there for what some people think was longer than normal. The angle of the camera captured this moment, and within hours it was being dissected frame by frame across every platform imaginable. People started slowing down the footage, speeding up certain parts, and creating versions that emphasized this particular moment to maximum effect. Now here's where things get interesting, because we need to talk about video editing and how easy it is to manipulate perception. When you take any piece of footage and start adjusting the speed, you can make a brief glance look like an extended stare. Slow motion turns a second into what feels like 10 seconds. Fast-forwarding through the moments before and after creates a sense that someone was fixated on something for much longer than they actually were. Changing angles and zooming in adds dramatic emphasis that might not reflect reality. This is exactly the kind of manipulation that creates viral moments even when the actual event was completely mundane. Watching the original footage, without all these edits, tells a different story. Justin glanced down briefly the way anyone might look at their hands or arms during a casual moment. There's no evidence of this intense emotional moment that people are projecting onto the situation. But the edited versions that circulate tell a completely different narrative that fits what certain viewers want to believe about his feelings. It's become this whole thing where people are reading volumes into seconds of video that could mean absolutely nothing at all. The comments under these videos are wild. People are writing entire paragraphs about how devastated Justin must be, how he's clearly questioning his life choices, how he wishes things had turned out differently. They're creating fan fiction in real time based on a man looking at his own arm. Some are even feeling sorry for Hailey, imagining how awkward it must be for her to sit there while her husband supposedly pines for his ex. Others are saying this proves Justin and Selena belong together and that he made a mistake marrying someone else. Let's inject some reality into this situation. If your partner had a tattoo of an ex, and you caught them staring at it with any kind of longing, that would be a serious conversation at minimum. That's not something any spouse would tolerate without addressing it directly. The idea that Justin would sit there on a live stream with millions of potential viewers and openly moon over a past relationship while his wife sits next to him is honestly ridiculous. Nobody would be that careless or disrespectful, especially not someone who's been in the public eye long enough to know everything gets captured and analyzed. Justin himself has talked about this tattoo before in interviews. He explained that he got it during their relationship, and after they broke up, he tried to modify it by adding shading over the face. He acknowledged that people still recognize what it is and who it represents. The way he discussed it seemed matter-of-fact, like he was talking about a piece of his personal history rather than something that causes him ongoing emotional turmoil. People get tattoos of significant relationships all the time, and when those relationships end, the tattoos remain as markers of that chapter of their lives. The fixation some fans have with Justin and Selena getting back together is honestly something that needs to be addressed. They broke up years ago. Both have moved on with their lives. Justin got married. Selena got married. They're in completely different places now, living completely separate lives. Yet there's this segment of fans who refuse to accept that their relationship is over and done. They cling to every possible shred of evidence that maybe, just maybe, there are still feelings there. They want Elena, or whatever their couple name was, to exist again despite all evidence pointing to that ship having sailed long ago. Here's something to consider about first loves and how they fit into your life after you've moved on. Most people carry their first serious relationship with them in some way. That person represented something important during a formative time in your life. You learn things about yourself and about relationships through that experience. Having some affection or nostalgia for that time doesn't mean you want to go back or that you have unresolved feelings. It just means you're human and you acknowledge that person was significant to your journey. That's completely different from actively pining for someone or regretting your current situation. Justin and Selena dated on and off for years during a period when both were figuring out who they were as adults in the public eye. Their relationship played out in front of millions of people, with every breakup and reconciliation becoming headline news. Eventually, they went their separate ways for good. Both have spoken about that relationship in interviews over the years, with what seems like respect and appreciation for what they shared, while also being clear they've moved forward. Acting like Justin secretly wishes he was with Selena instead of Hailey ignores everything both of them have said about their current happiness. Think about what it would actually mean if Justin was sitting there openly staring at a tattoo of his ex while his wife was right there. That would be incredibly disrespectful and hurtful. Hailey would have every right to be upset and to address that behavior immediately. The fact that nothing in their body language or interaction during the stream suggested any tension or awkwardness tells you this whole narrative is manufactured. People are projecting drama onto a situation where none exists because it makes for a more entertaining story. The reality is that Justin was probably just zoning out or thinking about something completely unrelated to the tattoo. Maybe he was thinking about what to say next on the stream. Maybe he was tired and his eyes just happened to land on that spot. Maybe he was noticing something about the tattoo he hadn't noticed before from a purely aesthetic standpoint. There are countless explanations that have nothing to do with secret longing for a past relationship. But those explanations aren't interesting, so they get ignored in favor of the dramatic narrative. Social media has this way of taking small moments and inflating them into major events. A glance becomes a stare. A neutral expression becomes sadness. A casual gesture becomes loaded with meaning. Everyone becomes an expert in body language and facial expressions, claiming they can read exactly what someone is thinking and feeling based on a few seconds of video. The truth is, we have no idea what's going on in someone's head unless they explicitly tell us. Everything else is speculation and projection. What's particularly frustrating about this situation is how it affects the actual people involved. Hailey doesn't deserve to have people constantly insinuating that her husband wishes he was with someone else. That's cruel and baseless. Justin doesn't deserve to have every tiny action analyzed for signs he's unhappy in his marriage. Selena definitely doesn't deserve to be dragged into drama about her ex's current relationship. All three of them have moved on with their lives and deserve to do so without constant interference from people who can't let go of a relationship that ended years ago. The obsession with this supposed love triangle needs to end. It's not healthy for the fans who are invested in it, and it's certainly not fair to the people actually living these lives. Justin is married to Hailey. They seem happy together based on everything they share publicly. Selena is married to Benny Blanco. She seems happy with him based on everything she shares publicly. The past is the past, and everyone involved has clearly moved forward. Continuing to read secret meanings into every interaction or moment just creates unnecessary drama and speculation. If we're being completely honest, the video probably shows nothing more than a guy looking at his arm during a casual stream. The editing and the narrative built around it turned it into something it never was. That's the power of social media and how quickly misinformation or misinterpretation can spread. Within hours, a nothing moment becomes the subject of countless videos, articles, and discussions. People who never saw the original footage form strong opinions based on edited clips and sensationalized headlines. This whole situation is a perfect example of why we need to approach viral moments with skepticism and critical thinking. Just because something is trending doesn't mean it's true or significant. Just because people are talking about something doesn't mean there's actual substance behind it. Sometimes a viral moment is just selective editing and wishful thinking from people who want a particular narrative to be true. Learning to recognize that helps you avoid getting caught up in manufactured drama. At the end of the day, Justin is going to have that tattoo for the rest of his life unless he gets it removed or covered completely. It represents a chapter of his past that was significant, and that's okay. Having reminders of past relationships doesn't mean you're not fully committed to your current partner. It means you're a human being with a history. Hailey surely knows about the tattoo and has made peace with it, or they wouldn't have gotten married. Trying to create conflict where none exists serves no purpose except generating clicks and views. The fixation on whether Justin still has feelings for Selena says more about the people perpetuating these theories than it does about Justin himself. Some fans became so invested in that relationship that they can't accept it's over. They keep looking for signs it might come back. They interpret everything through that lens. But relationships end and people move on, and that's exactly what happened here. Both parties found happiness with other people, and that should be celebrated rather than questioned constantly. Maybe the biggest takeaway from this whole situation is about respecting boundaries and accepting that we don't actually know these people or what goes on in their private lives. We see curated moments they choose to share or that get captured on streams and in photos. Building entire narratives around those fragments is presumptuous at best. Justin's inner thoughts and feelings belong to him. Whether he occasionally thinks about past relationships is his business and his alone. Creating drama around a possibly edited video serves no good purpose. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this whole discussion. I love having these real conversations with you where we can break down what's actually happening versus what the internet wants us to believe. This community is all about keeping it honest and supporting each other while we navigate all the wild stories that come our way. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more content like this where we separate fact from fiction, make sure you subscribe because we've got so much more coming your way. Drop your thoughts in the comments about whether you think this whole situation was overblown or if you see something I'm missing. I appreciate every single one of you for being here and being part of this journey with me.